Welcome to the Stories of Christmas podcast. My name is Linda Butterworth, and I will be your teller of tales during this festive season.
Today we learn about how two cousins met in the outskirts of town, each thinking that their own home was better than the others. And after visiting each other's homes, decided that there is no place like their own home in the story of the Town Mouse and the Country Mouse.
Once on a time, there was a country mouse and a town mouse. They met on the outskirts of a wood where the country mouse sat in a hazel thicket and plucked nuts. "God help you, sister," said the town mouse. "Do I meet my kinsfolk here so far out in the country?" "Just so," said the country mouse. "You gather these nuts and carry them to your house?" said the town mouse. "Yes, I have to," said the country mouse, "if we are to have anything to live on during the winter." "The husk is big and the nut full this year," said the town mouse, "so I dare say they will help to fill out a starveling body." "Quite right," said the country mouse, and then she told her how well and happily she lived. But the town mouse thought she was better off, and the country mouse would not give in, but said there was no place as good as in the woods and hills, and as for herself, she had far the best of it. Still, the country mouse said she was sure she had the best of it, and they could not agree at all. So at last they promised to pay one another a visit at Christmas, that they might taste and see which lived best. The town mouse was the one that had to pay the first visit, and she went through woods and deep dales, for though the country mouse had come down to the lowlands for the winter, the road was both long and tiring. It was uphill work, and the snow was both deep and soft, so that she was both weary and hungry at the time she got to her journey's end. "Now I shall be glad to get some food," she said when she got there. As for the country mouse, she had scraped together all sorts of good things. There were kernels of nuts and polypody and other roots, and much else that grows in wood and field. All this she had in a deep hole underground where it would not freeze, and close by was a spring, which was open all the winter so that she could drink as much water as she chose. There was plenty of what was to be had, and they fed both well and good. But the town mouse thought it was not more than sorry fare. "One can keep body and soul together with this," she said, "but it isn't choice, not at all. But now, you must be so kind as to come to me and taste what we have in town." Well, the country mouse was willing, and it was not long before she came. Then the town mouse had gathered together something of all the Christmas fare which the mistress of the house had dropped as well as she went about, when she had taken a drop too much at Yule. There were bits of cheese, and odds and ends of butter and tallow, and cheesecakes, and tipsy cake, and much else that was nice. In the jar under the ale tap she had drink enough, and the whole room was full of all kinds of dainties. They fed and lived well, and the country mouse seemed never to have had enough. She had never tasted such delicacies. At last she got thirsty, for the food was both strong and rich, and now she wanted something to drink. "It's not far off to the beer," said the town mouse. "That's the drink for us." And with that she jumped on the edge of the jar and drank her thirst out. But she drank no more than she could carry, for she knew the Christmas beer was strong. The country mouse thought the beer a splendid drink, however. She had never tasted anything but water, and now she took sip after sip. But she was no judge of strong drink, and so the end was she got tipsy before she left the dish. The drink got into her head and down into her toes, and she began running and jumping about from one beer barrel to the other, and to dance and tumble about on the shelves among the cups and mugs, and to whistle and whine just as though she were tipsy and silly, and tipsy she was. There was no gainsaying it. "You mustn't behave as though you had just come from the hills," said the Town Mouse. "Don't make such noise, and don't lead us such a life. We have a hard master here." But the Country Mouse said she cared not a pin for man or master. But all this time the cat sat at the top of the cellar steps, lying in wait, and heard all their talk and pranks. Just then the woman of the house came down to draw a mug of beer. As she lifted the trap door, the cat stole into the cellar and struck her claws into the Country Mouse. Then there was another dance. The Town Mouse crept into her hole and sat safely looking on. But the Country Mouse got sober all at once, as soon as she felt the cat's claw on her back. "Oh, my dear master, be merciful and spare my life. I'll tell you a story." That's what she said. "Out with it, then," said the cat. "Once on a time there were 2 small mice," said the Country Mouse, and she squeaked so pitifully and slowly, for she wanted to drag the story out as long as she could. "Then they were not alone," said the cat, both curtly and dryly. "And so we had a steak we were going to cook." "Then you're not starved," said the cat. "So we put it up on the roof that it might cool itself well," said the Country Mouse. "Then you didn't burn your tongues," said the cat. "So then the fox and the crow came and ate it all up," said the Country Mouse. "And so I'll gobble you up," said the cat. But just then the woman shut the trap door with a slam, so that the cat got startled and let go her hold, and pop! The Country Mouse was away in the Town Mouse hole, and from it there was a way out into the snow, and the Country Mouse was not slow in setting off home. "This you call living well, and you say that you live best?" she said to the Town Mouse. "Heaven gladden me with something less than rather than having such a big house and such a hawk for a master. Why, I only just got away with my life." And here is where I end my tale for today. But I'll be back with more stories, many more stories. Thanks for joining me today as we explore stories from around the world. If you enjoyed this story, give us a thumbs up and like us and subscribe. For more stories like this one, check out our book, Crazy About Christmas. Until then, enjoy everything this season has to offer. We'll see you again soon.